إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وأخبتوا إلى ربهم أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون. Surely those who have Iman, who do righteous acts, and who humble themselves before their Rabb, these are the residents of Jannah, where they shall live forever. In this verse of the Qur'Ānic Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about those that will be granted entry into paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many places of the Qur'Ānic Kareem, together with Iman and addressing those that have brought Iman, has mentioned one salient quality of theirs, that is the quality of doing good actions. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, they carry out righteous deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that such people will enter paradise, and they will enter paradise forever. There is no coming out of there, and in there is an eternal life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned one more quality in this particular ayah in regard to those that will be granted entry into paradise. He says, وَأَخْبَتُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ, they humble themselves before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This means their righteous actions and their humbleness in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drives them towards doing that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. It drives them into understanding that they are nothing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the sublime, He is the supreme, He is the greatest. When they have been commanded to perform salah, they ensure that they will timelessly perform their salah, they will establish their salah in the way they have been taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They will perform their salah in every condition and will never neglect it unless in severe and dire conditions where they have no ability at all whatsoever to perform their salah. And they discharge their zakat. They fulfill in general all the commands that they have been told to do from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they stay away from all the evils that has been prohibited by Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Hence they are humble and fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the verses before this and after this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of the opposite category of people who show their might, or who want to show that they are greater than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They disobey Him, they transgress and break the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is such kind of people's abode going to be? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next verse of the Qur'Ānic Kareem has mentioned the parable of the successful people, and He has mentioned the parable of those that are unsuccessful. He says, مَثَلُ الْفَرِيقَيْنِ كَالْأَعْمَى وَالْأَصَمِّ وَالْبَصِيرِ وَالسَّمِيعِ, that those that will be granted entry into paradise, their example is like those who can see and those who can hear. However, those that cannot see and those that cannot hear are the non-believers, are those that will be flung into the fire of Jahannam. They have been told and commanded various commands by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, after being told over and over again, repeatedly being reminded and conscientized about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the laws of the Quran, the laws of Sharia, the laws defined by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the lives of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, it is as though you are speaking to a deaf person. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in one hadith has mentioned, مثل الذي يذكر ربه والذي لا يذكر مثل الحي والميت. The example and parable of those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those who do not remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like the dead and the alive. So those that are alive in the true sense are those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only do they repeat His names, however, they constantly keep in mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking over them, and every action and step they take in their lives, they remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking over them and He is aware of what they are doing. On the contrary, one who is dead is one who cannot say anything, he cannot do anything, he is unable to do anything. So the example of one who does not remember Allah Ta'ala, he is always neglectful of the fact that Allah Ta'ala is looking at him. Allah Ta'ala is aware of his actions. Therefore he goes around disobeying Allah as though Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is not watching him. And then such kind of people, their abode is nothing but the fire of Jahannam. May Allah Ta'ala make us amongst those who have true Iman, who carry out righteous actions and humble themselves before Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and ultimately receive the great abode of Jannah as eternity in the life of the hereafter.